They are being starved. They are thirsty, only given 1 cup of water per day, are denied bathroom privileges, are denied medical attention. People in ICE concentration camps are losing their lives. And don't even think about saying FAFO, fuck around and find out, to these people in ICE detention centers. It is a shame that members of the Black community started the trend, and so many other people followed. This is an updated voting poll.
Updated.
Brown people voted for Kamala Harris more. But you fall for the colonizers' divisive tactics, the inaccurate voting polls, the initial propaganda. It is immature and immoral to be centering that type of behavior in response to a community that is being mass deported, imprisoned in concentration camps, and tossed out of the country to who knows where without any rights or contact to any lawyer or family. When we should be focused on solidarity, and this has to stop immediately. Especially those of you who claim to be activists perpetuating this FAFOBS nonsense.
Shouts out to Aaliyah, because this is where it was on her page when I first saw this lady, this Mexican lady. And then I went to her page and she doubled down and literally said that they helped us during the Civil War, which is a lie. And the Mexicans helped free the slaves. First of all, Mexico had slavery themselves that wasn't abolished until 1829 or 1830 or something, somewhere around there. And the president that abolished slavery in Mexico was Afro-Indigenous. I don't know why they keep leaving that part out. He looked more like a negro than he looked like. Y'all picking up what I'm putting down? And when we were down there, we was fighting beside them. We was helping to protect their borders. They conveniently leave that out. All this civil rights, nobody that was not fighting with us for civil rights. Is a lie and a scam, not as a collective. And they know a lot of them are anti-Black. It is so crazy that they keep blaming us. First of all, we've been saying fuck around and found out, just like we've been saying a whole bunch of other shit that they co-opt and steal and turn into something else. Fuck around and found out never really had no political meaning. That's just how Black people talk. Bitch, fuck around and find out. That's how we talk. Why do they keep blaming us and censoring us when we are not the ones that's putting them in concentration camps? We do not yield, nor do we hold the power to deport them. They are focusing on the wrong people. Why y'all not mad at MAGA? Why y'all not sticking it to the white man? I mean, we just got to call it a spade a spade. It's so weird that the Mexican and the Latino community keeps coming for Black people. It's because we're not putting our bodies, we're not sacrificing our bodies and going and running out and standing on the front lines. Is that what it is? Why they got so much animosity toward us like we're the ones that's doing this to them? We're not inflicting any pain on you. And as per Aaliyah's video, because I never saw that initial video, she played a video of a bullhead clear guy coining fuck around and find out for political purposes. Once again, stealing our shit, renaming, reclassifying it, giving it a different meaning. We're not making fun of y'all like that. We really ain't. We don't give a... It's unfortunate, but stop blaming. You're pointing,
Latinos of all backgrounds. Do y'all not realize Black people are not the only people in this country? You got your Chinese Americans, your Japanese Americans, your Korean Americans, your Indian Americans, your Muslim Americans, your white Americans, and your own people. So why in Davy Jones' locker are y'all so pressed and mad at us because we not out protesting? Folks, we did the most effective protesting last November, and the data proves it. We protested when it mattered the most. We were not out here with whole productions talking about some we will vote for Donald Trump. Y'all was out here with that foolishness, knowing full well, that y'all had a few abuelas, a few tios, tias, mijo, and mijas in your house undocumented. But y'all got y'all behinds on stage talking about some we will vote for Donald Trump. And you think we supposed to be out here protesting, picket fence in hand, clowning? Like some monkeys in a zoo? No, sirree bop. We did what we were supposed to do. And y'all put y'all's own community in the position that it's in now. And y'all need to live with it.
Where are you guys? Why are we alone? We support everything when it comes to you guys. We are always there for you. you. And this is why we Latinos are just different.
Very different, because 60% of black folks will never vote against their own community. And don't you see how one moment had you sitting here rubbing your hair talking about some we so different? No, you're not. And now you're just realizing you're not different. You're a nigga with a silk press. What's happening with Latinos is horrible, but there are a few things that we need to point out. First, black people stood 10 toes down for you. We put our hand out for you. And more than half of your community said nope and closed the door on their own people because they thought they had safe citizenship in this country. Porque este malditos es unos lambonos para este país. And they did not care what happened to the rest of their community. And for two, the same people that voted against you are now quiet, standing next to you marching, talking about some, we're family. Black people know a scam when we see it. And we know the same people that voted against you, they're still in that crowd. And Latinos are finding time to make videos saying, black people, what's going on? Other people, what's going on? And they're not addressing that more than 60% of their community voted against them and closed the door on their own people. And now that white folks turned on them, they're acting like they had no clue. That is terrifying to have in your community. Before you enlist any help, one thing. Primero, busca los lambones en su comunidad. You need to look for the lambonos in your community first. Because I don't know who they are, but you got a bunch of traitors marching next to you. So you need to start to question people. Because as vocal as they were on turning on everybody else, they need to be vocal right now. And I want to see more videos about that.
Political choice can sometimes create unexpected consequences and tension between communities. Well, in this video, we'll look at the reaction from the Latino Americans who are expressing frustration with Black Americans following recent political decisions and the debate over whether different communities should take responsibility for their own actions and choice, or they should work together despite their disagreement. Let's watch some of these powerful and thought-provoking clips. Please don't forget to like my video, subscribe to my channel, and let me know your thoughts in the comments. All right, guys, let's get into it.
So this is a message for Hispanic people or Latina people, not just the white presenting Latinos, all of them, including the more Afro Latinos, when it comes to this whole deportation thing and solidarity with the Black community. You guys have no right to be angry at Black people who choose not to want to support or have solidarity with you. And the only reason why I say this is because the amount and level of disrespect that we Black Americans have suffered from the Hispanic community when we tried to have solidarity in the past is astronomical. And you guys know about that disrespect, because try being a Latina woman with your whole family and bring home a Black man as your boyfriend and tell them that you want to marry him. And how would your family respond to that? Because I know a lot of you, if you brought home a Black person, like a Black American, your family is not having that. So how could we possibly have solidarity when the whole family is like, you bring home a Black person and it's just like their head starts spinning and they have an issue with that? On top of that, and also what adds insult to injury is basically saying when Hispanic people deny racism, like the fact that they're racist and the fact that they're colorist, the first time that it hit me about the Hispanic racism back in your own countries is when Black Panther, the second Black Panther came out, and the guy who played Namor, I forgot his name, the guy who played Namor talked about how you guys treat darker skinned people and indigenous people in your own countries, and that mentality, you guys bring it here into this country, especially after we Black people have went through a lot of strides in this country to get certain things put in place for civil rights. And instead of leaving that at the door in those countries, you guys bring those mindsets with you. And then on top of that, literally here on TikTok, there was a girl who had like 1 million views, and I still have the video and I can pull it, where she was talking about, she was only 20, and she was I could tell she was having a hard time articulating herself because she was crying and emotional, and she was talking about how she experienced racism and discrimination from her Hispanic community, and she said she was an Afro Latina, and how she couldn't get a job and couldn't get hired, and a lot of these jobs are expecting you to speak Spanish. And so when I came behind her and I pointed out, yes, there are some things in the Hispanic community, and what she's saying is true, it's just like the responses that I was getting from Hispanic people is just like the gaslighting that I would get from white people who try to deny racism. It's basically they were trying to say, oh, well, she wasn't qualified for the job. She wasn't. The same shit white people say. So if you do not have, none of you guys have a right to be mad at any black person for not wanting to stand behind y'all in solidarity. Because from me, I used to work a job when I was younger in a restaurant, and the Hispanic dudes, a whole bunch of Hispanic dudes back there, and they was not American, and they would just say the craziest stuff, and I had to check them. And after I checked them, they ain't saying nothing to me after that. Even with my best friend, she worked at a restaurant, whole bunch of Hispanic dudes working in the back, calling her the hard ER and the B word, and she checked them, and they ain't say nothing to her after that. They ain't say nothing to her after that. So a lot of us black Americans have very negative experience with you Hispanic people, who you guys are very racist. You have disrespected us. And so, yeah, we're aware of the disrespect. And I understand maybe on an individual level where if it's a Hispanic, a Hispanic person that I know on an individual level, that's something completely different. But as a collective level, Hispanic people have not broken down their own racism and white supremacy and disrespect. And they fail to realize that in this system, in the United States of America, you guys, whether you want to acknowledge it or not, I don't care how pale your skin is. If you're a Hispanic person, you're closer to a black person than you are to a white person on this hierarchy. And Asian people are actually higher up on the hierarchy than you guys are. So if black people don't want to be in solidarity and don't want to help, I don't feel like we should not be shamed for it. And you guys have no right to misdirect your anger towards us. If a black woman says, I'm not protecting these kids, if ICE comes, whatever, or if a black person says, I'm calling ICE, or if a black person says, oh, well, I'm not going to support, I'm just going to sit back and rest and this, that, and that. Y'all have no right to be angry with us. No right. No right to be angry with us, especially after all the disrespect that not only we take from you guys, but other immigrant groups do it to us too, especially the Asians. And to add insult to injury, for me to find out that Asian people, and I don't know how true this is with the Hispanic people, but I heard that Hispanic people wanted to be classified closer to white than they did back in the day, instead of being in solidarity with black people for fighting for civil rights and equal rights, which is just insane to me. And it was I wish I kept the video. It was one Hispanic civil rights activist that basically was saying, oh, the black man's struggle or the black struggle is not our struggle, this, that, and third. So they just basically didn't want to have solidarity with us. So please don't ask the black community for shit.
Why are black people saying this is not our fight making you upset? I've seen video after video from Latino creators or Latino people coming online pleading to black people to put our bodies at the forefront of this fight against illegal ICE raids, against deportation, against roundups, against undocumented people being rounded up and families being disjointed. But there's several reasons as to why you should not be shocked that black people are sitting this one out. You guys all remember that this is a subset of your community last year. You're also aware that across the board, overwhelmingly black people voted in favor of the candidate that had black interests, Latino interests, Asian interests at heart. Where if you look at the sentiments of what that vote represents, half of your community voted for this. Half of your community said F you to black people. Half of your community said, we don't care about you. Half of your community said you wanted to be white aligning and white adjacent. And now you're being reminded of the fact that you're not. We have to have the ability to hold multiple truths when we speak to each other as communities. The truth is that Latinos are not in a monolith. It's just an all-encompassing umbrella that they put you under. And that, yes, the majority of the people that voted for Donald Trump and were doing that were Cuban and were other people in different parts of the country, and undocumented people in Mexico, in California are being impacted by that. That is true. But what's also true is that there is a history of black people fighting and being at the forefront of civil rights in this country since the inception of civil rights in this country. And it's always been pushed back in non-solidarity from multiple communities who are voting and always going against black people. So this particular time when black women especially really came out in droves and really fought forward with our votes, and you guys didn't do it, your community didn't do it. It's like, why would I fight now? Why would I fight now? So I just need you, like, if you're gonna come online and make pleas and ploys to black people, because I've seen so many videos, Start by acknowledging the fact that your community has colorism, anti-blackness, and voted against your own best self-interest. Start with that. Don't come in here and ask black people just to put our bodies at the forefront of the line, because we've been doing that for a century. Secondly, I think the majority of black people who are saying that they're sitting this one out are using their voice in other ways or having solidarity with you in other ways, but they're not going to protest. They're not going to go get hit by rubber bullets. They're not going to put themselves in harm's way or make that effort again, because you guys, it's time for you to fight for yourself. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense for you. Now, there's also a bunch of black people online who are asking black people to come out and fight for everyone, and everyone needs to fight, and this is our fight as well. While I do agree with a lot of those sentiments, because if they're doing it to brown citizens, they can do it to black citizens, and they can use the Congo and Haiti as an excuse to just racially profile all of us. That's very true. But you have to stop telling black people to put themselves on the line when black people are exhausted. Black people are exhausted. Black people have done so much for all communities in this country. At a certain point, there has to be a time where they need to rest. And right now, a bunch of people are resting, and that's fine. But there will always be people in our community who fight. Like, I'm using my voice every fucking day on this app. I've made an update about every single thing going on with ICE raids, locations, where they are, what's happening with Trump. I do it every day on my social page, and it's exhausting. Like, I'm actually exhausted. Today I put up like 10 posts. I'm exhausted, but I'm doing it because I know my voice has reach, and I know that people need to hear it. And that's my personal choice. I'm not doing it because I feel obligated. So stop trying to make people feel obligated to put themselves on the line again. I say that to say it's a lot of fucked up shit happening in this country. I know that people and families, I was in tears last night seeing people self-deport themselves and people getting rounded up, grandfathers and grandmothers and abuelitas getting taken away, who are the people who are the fabric of this city in LA. But I just know that it doesn't end here, and there are black people on that list. There are black countries on that list. There are black countries on that list, and I'll say that to you again. There are black countries on that list.
On this week's episode of You Have the Audacity To, Latinos asking black people why they aren't present to help fight against the deportations like Latinos were for the BLM movement. What? The audacity to ask such a question is absolutely insane. First of all, black people, other Latinos begged you not to vote for this Cheeto. Begged you to vote for your own causes. And yet and still, you voted for him. Now here we are, facing mass deportations, and you have the nerve to question black people? Not your fellow Latinos who casted the vote, not white people, but black people. Black people who overwhelmingly went to the polls to support the candidate that they wanted, who didn't say she was going to deport Latinos. Do you see the hypocrisy? Also, not to mention, Latinos weren't overwhelmingly involved in the BLM movement. I'm sorry. Well, not that I've seen. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But as far as I've seen in my area, no.
Clearly, this is propaganda to separate the blacks and Latinos. So, this Latino man saying the N-word is propaganda. Have you not met Latinos? Are you not on the social media streets? Those people literally, there was this one kid that said, oh, how about, 100 Latinos versus not saying the N-word. Do you know how many Latinos was in his comment section saying the N-word, popping it, saying every racial slur and every derogatory thing that they could think of about black people, saying every stereotype that they could think about black people, just because he said don't say the N-word? Do you know in real life, me, Love Jones, I've been in situations with Latinos that look white, like Caucasian. And I'm like, are you black? Like, why are you saying the N-word? And they would get offended and say, well, I grew up around this and I grew up around that. So they feel like they could say it because they have proximity to us. This is not propaganda, because then on the flip side, especially, my Cali people, the stories they tell about the Latinos, the Mexicans and them out there, the way they treat them, the way they done ran them up out of their neighborhoods once they started to grow in numbers, because a lot of them be breeding like rabbits. And then that's not a dig because we breed a lot too. But once they got their numbers up, they literally formed gangs to terrorize and harass black people. So this ain't no propaganda. This has been going on. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. And even in those Latin countries, they treat the darker skinned Latinos like trash. They're racist toward Latinos that look like me, that has my skin color. The way the Dominicans treat the Haitians and they on the same island. Like, I could go on and on and on. It is not propaganda. The thing is, and I'm not saying all, not every single one, but as a collective, a lot of Latinos are anti-black. It's not propaganda. Like, just listen to them talk. They will tell you. They will get up here and call you a slave just like anybody else. They be popping it. Not all of them, because I know a lot of them that's mad cool that I love. But as a collective, yeah, one of my ex-boyfriends, his grandmother, she was a Puerto Rican woman. She called me a slave. Me. This is what I'm saying. I could tell y'all situations, because y'all think that all of this just only exists online. No, this is in real life too. That's why when they keep telling us to go out there and protest, I'm like, and then I've seen people saying, oh, the ICE is killing, unaliving black people too. I'm like, well, I don't hear anything about it. I heard about that one guy and they said that he had a firearm and he was pounding it in the air. And those are the types of things that we absolutely can focus on. But marching for illegal immigration, no. I'm sorry. I just don't see it. Spread love is the Brooklyn way. What y'all think about this? Is it propaganda? I don't think that man was a crisis actor. I don't think anybody paid him any money to go out there and call that man an N-word. That's really how they are. A lot of them. That's why I don't subscribe to people of color. Like, bitch, you're not a no. All right, bye. Did I say spread love is the Brooklyn way? Well, I'm going to say it again. Spread love is the Brooklyn way.
Why are Latinos asking black people to join them in the protest? But last month, black people asked Latinos to stop saying the N-word because black people find it disrespectful when Latinos say the N-word. And Latinos were so offended that they started disrespecting the black community. And I'm probably going to get a lot of hate for this, but I want to say something. If you've been following me for a while or have gone through my videos recently, you see that I'm constantly pushing for unity between communities. Majority of the black people in the comments are stating how they get a lot of disrespect from the Latinos, and majority of the Latinos in my comments are actually really disrespectful to the black community. And I've been pushing for unity because these protests are not where we're going to unite. There's something bigger to come where we need that unity. And something that I've been noticing during these protests is a lot of Latinos are asking the black community for help. And when the black community states how they don't want to, or they don't feel like they should, Latinos are disrespecting them with racial slurs. There's a video circulating on the internet where a Latina is yelling the N-word in a very derogatory form to a black police officer. How is that helping our cause when we're asking the black community to join us? There's videos on the internet where the comment section is full of hate from Latinos to black people because the black community doesn't want to join us on the protest. And while sure, I agree that this is everybody's fight, Latinos, we need to take responsibility and acknowledge the fact that this is our fault. I find it very ghetto and disrespectful for us to be saying the N-word. I find it very disrespectful for us to be even saying the M-word, that stands for Beatles in Spanish. And while I am going to have a lot of people in the comments saying that this is all politics and about the Latinos for Trump BS, this has nothing to do with politics because it is before Trump took office. We were put against each other back in the 1970s and the 1980s. And we're a product of that now because it was our parents that were put against one another. Why? Must I remind you that back in the 1960s when we were all united, we actually got things done, like the Civil Rights Act movement. Latinos tend to forget that black people, the black community, were out protesting for field worker rights, immigration rights with us. And the black community tends to forget that there were Latinos marching with Martin Luther King Jr. down to the point that we do have a statue for MLK in Mexico because MLK was a huge impact in the Latino community. And while I do not agree with Cesar Chavez and the stuff that he did to the immigrants in the United States, Cesar Chavez, amongst many other Latinos, were marching with MLK. Black Panthers were protecting Mexicans, while Black Panthers also helped start the Brown Berets. We have a lot of history together, and this is why divided we stay conquered, because together we get things done. So no, I'm not asking the black community to come out and march with us, to protest with us, because this is something small compared to whatever is about to come. I'm asking the Latino and the black community to take accountability for whatever we have going on and start asking yourselves, why have we been put against each other? And why have some of us actually gone along with the way that they want us against each other? Why is there hate amongst each other when
We've done nothing but unite in the past and get things done. Where does this hate come from? I've had my fair share of experiences with racist people in the past, but those people do not define the communities that they come from for me. There's always going to be races within each community. So to my fellow Latinos, we've needed unity for a long time from other communities, and now we're reaping the consequences of us being hateful towards other communities. We even have hate within ourselves. And until we take accountability and change that, no one's going to come out to our rescue. Food for thought.
Hi lovelies, welcome back to my channel. Before we get into this controversial topic, please don't forget to like my video, subscribe to my channel, and let me know what you think in the comments. What happens when voters begin questioning the political choice they made, and instead of looking inward, some start pointing fingers at other communities? That is the conversation we are exploring today. Some Latino voters have expressed frustration with political outcomes and disagreement involving Black Americans. But it's important to remember that neither Latino Americans nor Black Americans are politically monolithic. Both communities have people with different views, priorities, and voting decisions. And that is what makes this conversation so complicated. When elections produce unexpected consequences, it's easy for people to ask who is responsible, right? But blaming an entire community rarely provides the answer. Black voters have their own concern. Latino voters have theirs. And sometimes those interests overlap each other, while other times they don't. The real question should be, why are communities that could potentially work together becoming divided after election? Because political disagreements can be temporary, but resentment between communities can last forever. What do you guys think? What do you think? Do you think Latinos and Black Americans are being unfairly divided by politics, or are genuine disagreements between the communities becoming harder to ignore? Let me know your thoughts in the comment. Let me know what you guys think. I would like you to drop your thoughts in the comments, and please don't forget to like my video, subscribe to my channel, and turn on your notification for more honest conversation about race, politics, and American societies, and the things that is happening around the world. Once again, thanks for watching, and see you in my next video. Bye. Love ya. Mwah.